Love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, it's a 3v3.
You can start doing your thing.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the APS Esports matchup. Today we have the Raiding Raptors of JMMS from Albuquerque, New Mexico, going up against the PCMS Dragons from Pittsburgh, Kansas. Today's matchup, we will have a best of 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. Best of 5 matches to see who will win. As Icy, which is Yusuf, goes in for goal 1 with some interesting defense from the other team, but we have this game 1 going on. We have team 1 with the team of the captain of team Raiding Raptors is Yusuf. Co-captains are Ryan and Matthew. And then, yes, we have Notes, which today, this is the first middle school esports team in New Mexico to compete in a Rocket League interstate match. This JMMS Raiding Raptors is the first game of the season for both teams here, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, do they have 2 people? No, it's a 3v3, we're good. Uh-oh. And we see Yusuf goes up for another goal. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. These 2 teams are part of the first National Esports Rocket League team for the middle school, with teams from Alaska to Florida. It is an interesting, like, wide global community here. JMMS, their coaching here today is Mr. Harvey, who has left the room. And now we see PCMS Dragons too going for defense, making sure nothing goes anywhere. Is saved by Matthew. Okay, so now we hop on board with we see Yusuf going for a aggressive play here as he sets it up for another goal here, ladies and gentlemen. And now we go over to PCMS Dragons. And now we see a play-by-play of how this happened as we get ready for the next launch off. Alright, let's see what's happening here. Love the customizations. Blue team, by the way, if you do not know, is the JMMS Raptors, with the purple team being the PCMS Dragons. And now we see PCMS Dragon 1. I'm just gonna call him Dragon 1. But Dragon 1, Dragon 2 going on the offensive until taken out by Raven King. And now we see PCMS Dragons doing the goalkeeping today, making sure that no goals are made for the Raiding Raptors, as we have FSU Icy going for the aggressive, but PCMS Dragons 2 puts in a goal for the Dragons here, ladies and gentlemen. And now it is a 3-1, is the best of 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. Get some water. And now we hop on board. We go to AutoCam. Wait, one second. AutoCam, we see there's a lot of interesting plays here. As we go to Director and see all the players. We can see their stats and everything here. As we see PCMS Dragons going for the defensive here, with making sure that no goals go in. And then we see these 2 on the aggressive, as it seems to be a 2-2 comp, but nobody seems to be guarding Raiding Raptors' goal. But it seems to be okay, because they seem to be able to shut it down here. But we don't know, things can turn. As we see FSU Icy going for the offensive, and it is barely missed here, ladies and gentlemen, as we see some good goalkeeping here from the PCMS Dragons. It is high up in the air now. PCMS could put it in, ladies and gentlemen, for a goal, making it a 3-2 game, and game 1 out of potential 5. Ladies and gentlemen. And now we go over to the Director Cam. AutoCam, as we go over to Raven King. He's going for an aerial, what could be, but just not enough, as it barely hits the crossbar. But we may have a goal here, as it is blocked, but it is very close here, ladies and gentlemen. As this game has become a real banger of a first ever esports matchup for APS. And now we see, as they're on the offensive here, making sure to try and get a goal. We have nobody goalkeeping for, I believe, either team here, as we have no goalkeepers, but that is okay, because both teams seem to be able to hold their own and make sure the ball does not get close enough to either of their goals. AutoCam shows, as it is put in by Raven King for a very interesting shot here, ladies and gentlemen. And now we go over to see how this score was scored. And now we see, as we spectate, yep, very solid goal here, folks. as it is 4-1 with FSU Icy being top for JMMS, and for the Dragons we have PCMS Dragons 2 holding it down. As we have a minute left, it is almost scored, but they are able to make sure it doesn't go in here, ladies and gentlemen. As we have some interesting plays happening here. And now we watch, ladies and gentlemen, as we see one of the Dragons on the defensive, but just not enough. So close, but the goalkeeping was fantastic, but just not enough. As Matthew was able to put the ball in for a goal. And now we go to auto cam here, folks. We see a up above view as it is smacked over, nearly getting a center ball for the Raiding Raptors here, folks. As it is almost set up, a very beautiful match going on here today. The sun is shining outside, and here we are with some beautiful lighting, ready for this match. And now we see some interesting defense. They are able to save it as Matthew is on the offensive here, ladies and gentlemen, trying to make sure to get a goal in. Oh, but FSU Icy being able to block it, which could have been a disastrous move, which could have led to a 5-2. We're nearing the 50-second mark here for game 1, ladies and gentlemen. As we see FSU Icy trying his hardest to put an extra goal in before we have a closing to game 1 here, folks. And now we see FSU Icy on the offensive. The Dragons are looking to make sure it doesn't go in, and it is barely missed as they take it out of the goal, not allowing, as it is bounced away, making sure that nobody gets it in. But will it go in? And it's another goal here for the Raiding Raptors. Phenomenal defense by the Dragons, but just not enough, as they were able to put it in just barely for another goal. And now we hop on auto cam again. We see all the Predators ready for an aerial view to see what is happening here as the ball bounces to the right side of the field. Almost a center ball. And then we see the Snowhay, or I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. But he was almost able to put the goal in, but just not enough as he goes up off the wall trying to set it up. As we see FSU Icy, as we see the Raptors setting up for another potential goal, but the defense by the Dragons is able to stop them and potentially make sure no goals go on. And game 1 of potential 5, ladies and gentlemen, goes to the Raiding Raptors. They seem very happy based off their cars. And now we see, ladies and gentlemen, that this match was a 6-1. We are very excited to see the rest of these games here. As you see, Raiding Raptors are ready to go into game 2. The Dragons are not, but we are waiting as they could be getting prepped. And now we see all 3 of them seem to be ready for the potential next match. And now we see we have some playbacks. Thank you very much, Miss Epalus. And now we see, ladies and gentlemen, as we have a play-by-play of all that has happened throughout this energetic first match here. 1 out of a potential 5 here. And now we see that there have been some interesting plays by both teams. Phenomenal defense by the Dragons, but not enough, sadly, to stop the Raiding Raptors, as the Raiding Raptors seem to have done a phenomenal job at making sure their offense is good enough to make sure the ball doesn't get too far down the field, but also being able to put in some goals. As we see, the Dragons have also put in some phenomenal goals by some great tricks as we go over to spectate. And now we see all the players are here ready for map number 2. And now as we go to auto cam, we can see FSU Icy nice and ready. And now we see there's Snow. He's he doesn't seem to be moving, but Matthew, as we see the Dragons on the defensive again, making sure to defend the goal so that nothing happens. As a nice game happens here, ladies and gentlemen. Is on the Dragon side, but it should not be a worry. But FSU Icy puts it in for a 1-0 score so far, ladies and gentlemen. And now we see it. I don't know what's happening, but they were able to put in the goal for their team. As we see, hopefully an aerial view of, yes, thank you, an aerial view as the Dragons rail it straight into the Raiding Raptors side here, ladies and gentlemen. But it goes straight back to their side, but we have the Dragons on defense, making sure that nothing goes in, but it is able to slip past them. Hello, Generation 505, welcome to the tournament. As we see, the defense by the Dragons, they were making sure that nobody got past them. Ah, fix my cam. Okay, I'll just sit back here, there we go. And now we see, as FSU Icy smacks it back over to the side of the purple team. But the Dragons are able to make sure it does not go in, ladies and gentlemen. And now we see, as the Dragons are on the offensive right now, making sure that it hopefully gets to the blue team side. As we see, it makes it there, but the Raiding Raptors seem to have control of it, as two of members are going for an aerial, but not enough to put it in, as the Dragons are on an interesting defense here to make sure that they do not score a goal, making it very difficult. They're putting up both teams are putting up phenomenal numbers here, folks. And now we see as the ball just rolls. Will it be another goal? And it is, ladies and gentlemen, as the Raptors are able to put the ball in for a third goal. The defense was tricky, and the Dragons were able to shut them down for a little while, but the Raptors were able to make a goal here, ladies and gentlemen. As we see, aerial view shows who will get the ball first. First touch by the Raptors. Good luck to both teams on this, because this could go either way here, folks. As we see, the Dragons are on the offensive here, making sure to get up some points as an interesting match goes down here. As they're on the defensive as well, making sure that nothing goes in, and it is barely able to slip past them. Dragons' defense was phenomenal, but they're just too slippery. The slippery ice cubes. But it is a great match here for both teams. As we go over to the Dragons, putting up some interesting points here, ladies and gentlemen. And now we see a first Dragons member as he goes in on the offensive, making sure that nothing is able to get near their goal, as it barely flies over their head. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, another goal. The defense by the Dragons is still phenomenal, but just barely able, a slight mishap was able to give them a goal. And now we see the PCMS Dragons on their next attempt to hopefully get in a goal, but their defense has been phenomenal, allowing them to kind of shut them down in a sort of way, as we have 3 minutes left. Oh, sorry. Alright. Now you see, Dragons are on the defensive, making sure it is not going in here, ladies and gentlemen, as they are able to defend it, making sure no more goals happen here. And now we see the Dragons are on the defensive here, but as we go to AutoCam, we see they're on the defensive, hoping to get a goal here, ladies and gentlemen. This could be a wide open chance, but the Dragons defense might be able to shut it down. So close, but not enough, sadly. Ooh, water. Alright, 2:46 minutes left. 2 minutes 46 seconds left in this here match, as we get the aerial view to see that they have both gone for an interesting. Nobody knows who's to go for in this matchup here, as there's a first touch that could have belonged to anyone, but Dragons 2 on defense. Almost there, so close. And now we see aerial cam shows us who will get first touch in this banger of a first matchup for both teams. And now we see it seems to be on Raiding Raptors' side, as they are able to push it back, but the Dragons could come back and snatch this up for their team here, as they're able to stop them from making it an advance any further into the purple side with some defense, as they block it, ladies and gentlemen, not allowing another goal, and it is away. It is almost near center field and so close, ladies and gentlemen. as this game so far has been a phenomenal first 2 matches here. Aerial Cam back at it again to show a collage, but the ball is bouncing high up in the sky as it may make it advance over to the Raiding Raptors side here, folks, as it is somehow able to stay over at the Dragon side, but it might not go in, and barely in for the goal, but the Dragons could shut this match down if they make a comeback. There's a minute 52, anything could happen here, you never know. And now we see all players are repped up and ready for this match here, folks. As now we see, it could be an easy goal for the Dragons, as they have a phenomenal defense and offense here, ladies and gentlemen. As we see, one of the Raiding Raptors is trying to get the offensive and try and set it up for their team, maybe with a center ball. As it's barely bounced out, the Dragons are able to make sure that it goes nowhere near the goal here, folks, as it is bouncing still on the Raiding Raptors side in the middle for a possible setup for a goal here, folks, but just close. Oh, so close. And now you see is the Raptors make an advance, but the Dragons on defense should be able to block this, and there it goes. It is making its way out of the purple side here. Uh-oh, a possible smack, what could be an in goal? Oh my goodness! Could the Dragons set it up? Oh, so close. This is a banger of a match here, folks. JMMS is the team in blue, as the Dragons are the purple team here, folks. And now we see JMMS seems to be making an aggressive, as that is the 10th goal, which could have been prevented. So close for each team. It could have been easily blocked by either the crossbar or a player. Matthew was able to assist and make sure that the goal was set up, but the Dragons defense has been able to, you know, shut them down. As the ball seems to have been missed, and now they go up on the offensive. And now on the offensive, both teammates of the Raiding Raptors have seemed to bump into each other, allowing for the Dragons to regain themselves and set up for a block here, ladies and gentlemen, but it's just not enough as they slide their way in for another goal. 28 seconds here in match 2 out of a potential 5. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, aerial cam shows us that JMMS is on the aggressive, but the Dragon defense may be able to shut this one down here, not allowing any more points. It's an interesting battle as they seem to fight for the ball. It doesn't seem to be moving much as the Dragons are able to save it. A near goal, but saved. And now we see, as there's 4 seconds left, they desperately try and get in another goal, but the Dragons defense is able to stop them from making another goal, ending match 2 out of a potential 5. Now we see the Raiding Raptors, they seem to be doing pretty good so far. Defense by the Dragons has been phenomenal, as they have been able to shut out a lot of goals here. And now we see as we head on over to our next match. Oh wait, let me move this out of the camera way. And now you see, as the teams seem to be prepping to get ready for this next match. Raiding Raptors almost ready, the Dragons getting ready, hopefully to take this game. As we have some very good music being provided by the Rocket League game. Some very interesting music, similar to Monster Cat and other things, where they're like hyper like energetic beats to keep the players up and focused. And now we see both teams are ready. We have 4 seconds to go into this next match here, folks. And now we see the match has started. Champions Field back at it again for the next match. 3 out of 5 here, folks. Now we are loading in. As we go to spectate, we shall see as the other players are joined in and up and ready for this game here. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we kick off game number 3 as they both, it was a one-on-one for the offensive here, folks. And now we see Matthew with some interesting plays as the ball is pushed over to the purple side, but the Dragons are able to make sure it doesn't go in. Just barely here, folks, as it is bounced in. Oh, so close. Great defense was able to stall them enough to make sure that the goal was as hard as possible for them to make. Because the Dragons defense has been on it today. Much great coordination for both teams here. And now we see, ladies and gentlemen, as the Dragons seem to be taking the offensive, as it is on blue side, but the Raptors take it back to their side with defense for the Dragons, but it was almost there. And now we see, ladies and gentlemen, all players should be prepped up and ready for this next game. Now we see Raven King up the middle, Snowhay already there. And now we see PCMS Dragons getting ready on the defensive in the goal. We have PCMS Dragons 2 up and ready, getting ready for an interesting defensive play as they're able to stop it from going inside of the goal here, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh, as another goal is scored. Defense was close, but just not enough, just barely. And now we see the enthusiasm for each team here, folks, as they are excited for their first game. And now we see the ball is bouncing around as they get ready here. Now we see some support from the chat for the Raiding Raptors as they are able to put in another goal. The Dragons defense on some interesting tactics here, so close to stopping it, just barely. Aerial cam shows us Dragons already on it first for the offensive, which could be set up for a goal here, folks. Uh-oh, the defense of the Raiding Raptors is able to bounce it onto their side. But the Dragons are able to knock it away, not allowing another point here, ladies and gentlemen. As now we see, is a struggle for the ball here. As now we see Dragons trying to hopefully set it up for their team. And now we see we should have one player in goal as expected. And there is nothing happening there, as he was able to glide it across smoothly, as the Dragons defense nearly had it to block. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are on for the next 3 minutes 30 seconds of game 3. Has been real interesting. We have great defense and great offense on both sides of the team. Stats are phenomenal for both sides. And now we see Dragons on the defensive, making sure nothing gets past them. But a hole in the shredded cheese allows another goal. But the defense has been able to shut some things down here, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to go to aerial cam to see the first touch. First touch goes to the Dragons as they are on the attack right now. And defense as it barely glides above his head. So close. Ooh, Posty Sports. As it barely goes over the head, allowing for another goal. 3 minutes 11 seconds here in the, I believe, third game. As it is 7-0. Dragons get the first touch, and it could be another goal as they are on the attack right now like a pack of wild dogs. They're on the chase, which could set up for a perfect goal here for the Dragons, as they don't allow another goal in. Barely hits the crossbar, allowing for it to bounce out, and they are able to snatch it away with control. But it is going over to the Raiding Raptors side as the Raptors seem to have control of the ball for the moment. But the Dragons defense, 2 players in the goal, making sure nothing gets past them. As the ball goes, it's down center field for what could be a possible goal here, folks. There's a beautiful situation being set up for the Dragons here. Uh-oh, as they're on the block, and it is barely blocked here, folks. For a beautiful save, beautiful technique, allowing them to deny the goal. Uh-oh, as the Dragons have taken out FSU Icy, having a slight advantage here, folks, to be able to put in a goal. Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, we see FSU Icy back again for revenge, and hopefully the ball is barely missed here, folks, as the ball is away from the goal for a perfect opportunity for the Dragons. Defense phenomenal, allowing them to not get anywhere near the goal. Uh-oh, and it is blocked! What a save by the Dragons here, folks. He's going up as they get set up for another hit. Uh-oh, as the ball just seems to be slipping out of everybody's hands here, but a goal is eventually scored for one of the teams here. Alright, aerial cam shows that the Raptors are on the aggressive, but it might take a little bit more than that, for the Dragons defense has been in the goal, making sure that it is as hard as physically possible for the Dragons to let a goal slip by, as they are also on the aggressive. Dragons too, taking it on the offensive, making sure that nobody gets in, as they take out Raven King. A sly move to make sure that nothing else happens, as the defense shuts it down. A near goal that was able to be saved here, folks, as it goes back, but they have another man there to block. Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is bounced out and in. It is bouncing around like a tennis racket. That made no sense, I am sorry, but still, the Dragons defense was able to shut them down for as long as possible. Final 55 seconds here for this game. Aerial cam shows who will get first touch here, as the Dragons are on first touch here, as it is bounced over for a potential goal, set up perfectly down the middle. The Dragons are still on defense here, folks, making sure that nothing is able to get past them. Uh-oh, Dragons making sure that it is as hard as possible, as the Raptors are having a slight struggle getting it into the goal. It is bounced out, and it is missed, as the Dragons are on an amazing defense right now, making sure nothing gets in for these final 23 seconds. That was set up down the middle for what could be a potential goal, but it is blocked, and it is right back in, ladies and gentlemen, for another goal. Dragons defense was phenomenal. They were able to stop it for as long as they could, with some great tricks, some interesting plays to make sure that the game goes on. Final 16 seconds here. All the players are revved up. Seems to be a 1v1 chase for the ball, as we have a player in defense. It is a 1v1, and the ball is blocked, not allowing a single goal here right now. Oh, it is bounced up in the air, folks. It's nope, and a final literally 1 second on the clock goal, hoping to add up a point for the game. There's 1 second left here, folks. As we will see, as the Dragons defense should be able to hold up for this final second. All players seem revved up and ready. Final touch here. Uh-oh. That should be game 3 of 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 of 5 going to the Raiding Raptors. As we see, none of the players seem to be ready for another match. I think it might be over here, folks. And now we see, it has been a beautiful 3 games with phenomenal plays and defense from both sides here. Some interesting offensive plays in the first match for the Dragons to able to get up on the board, and some amazing defense plays. Some aggressive attacking offense from the Raiding Raptors, allowing them to win these 3 games. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. 3 seconds until the next match, as it should be over here, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. It is the best of a 3 out of 5 match, and I believe the winners are the Raiding Raptors. But there might be another game going on, as the Dragons, 2 out of the 3 players seem to be ready, but I don't think there should be anybody else. Ah, I guess it's just a game going on here. Well, might as well go spectate. Well, we are going to watch as I believe the 3 out of 5 match is over, as the Raptors were able to secure a 3-win game in a row. Hello, Miss Epalus. Welcome to the casting tournament. Now you see, all 3 of these players are here. I assume for just practice. I am not exactly sure, but we shall just watch them and see how they coordinate and see what they do. Alright,